Welcome to the Las Vegasville podcast, brought to you by Jump Studios, where we cover topics related to everything happening around Sin City, including the social media scene, food, and a whole lot more, with some of the best, most popular accounts around the city, and talk about their success in Vegas and beyond. I'm your host, Philip Zhang, aka Las Vegas Phil. Check me out on IG or TikTok, and feel free to text or leave me a voicemail at 702-551-4445. On with the show. Welcome to a different type of episode this week, where we list and break down the local TikTok and IG restaurant accounts with the most followers in Las Vegas. Co-hosting this episode with me is one of the best creators in the game with an opinion I respect deeply, and that's Talia, aka Talls, making her third appearance on the podcast. Welcome back.
Woo! Wow. So, besides Drew, am I the person that has the most appearances so far?
That's a good question. I never thought of that.
I'm going to say it is. I'm just going to do that.
You know what? Paul has been
doesn't
on...
count. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I think Emily's been on 4 times, but she was on group stuff too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean solo. Come on now.
Okay, for solo guests, I think so. Yeah.
I have a title, guys.
Yeah. Oh, wait. Yes. No. Lindsay's been on 4 times.
Dang it. Whatever. I don't care.
But she was with Starfish. So,
Love Lindsay.
Solo. Okay. Yeah, solo. All right. You're tied for first.
Okay.
Congratulations.
Yay.
How have you been?
I'm, great. How are you?
Good. Good.
This is not even social media related, but I haven't even spoken on this publicly because when you're in the public eye, people scrutinize everything you do, the way you look, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But I've lost 10 pounds and I'm really happy about it.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
You.
That's awesome. Yeah. So what was the secret? Just...
I feel like last year my body was so stressed out it didn't want to lose any weight. It just held on to everything, and even though my diet and I was exercising a bunch, I realized I probably wasn't doing everything correctly, and so this year I was I'm going all in. And so from January to now, it's just been happening, and I feel like I've been trying to balance my workload more. I have an assistant now and she helps me out, so my cortisol levels are way lower. That's great. Good for you. And I think balance, especially food balance in our line of work, is the toughest thing. And oh yeah.
And I'm glad you found a nice sweet spot to manage it all.
Yeah, my birthday's coming up, so that's what really kicked
Oh, really?
me. Yeah, my birthday's in June, so I gotta continue. Even though I'm drinking a Diet Dr. Pepper right now, don't look at it.
Any plans for the birthday already?
Oh, I'm going on a cruise to Mexico for 7 days. Obviously gonna vlog everything.
Very cool.
And then in August for my grandmother's birthday, I'm going on another cruise.
Oh,
so
nice.
Just going everywhere. And then I want to do something here in Vegas. Not a couple weeks ago, me and Vegas Girl Events, we linked up and we had a co-hosting event and it went really, really well.
I saw the stories. Looked like a great time.
It was so much fun. Yeah. I think so. I wasn't anticipating a bunch, maybe 20 people, so we just posted on our stories. I didn't even talk about it on TikTok at all, and then Julie from Jump Force, she said, hey guys, we have 100 tickets reserved, we are sold out. Oh my god. So they upped it to 200 and we got about 160 tickets reserved, and it was great. We just got to go in before they opened the doors to everyone. I got to meet a bunch of people and we had a lot of fun, and then I went to Evil Pie afterwards.
Sounds like the perfect downtown evening. That's awesome. How has social media management changed the way you've approached content creation?
So the thing is, I have been on social media since I was allowed to. So I feel from the age of 12 till 22, I was a consumer of social media, and now that I'm on the other side of it where I'm marketing to people, I feel like I have a bit of duality. And honestly, I kind of start thinking and looking at viral videos and looking at why did that go viral? And then I kind of break it down in my head of okay, well, they did X, Y, and Z, which are 3 things that do tend to make a video get more attention than others. And then another thing is when you're running social media pages, you have to be on the lookout for trends, there's no more just relax and just scroll mindlessly. Your brain is always kind of on to find that trend and be ooh, that's a good idea. And so I don't edit it in that moment. I just DM it to my clients. And then when it's time for me to work, I go onto that account, I see what I sent myself, and I'm okay, yeah, I need to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really cool. And being on top of things trend-wise is so important, especially for TikTok. Do you think these days it's important to have just a TikTok-specific social media manager and keep it separate from IG?
Yeah, because TikTok and Instagram, in my opinion, are pretty different because, like, you're very well versed in Instagram. I consider myself more of an expert on TikTok, and we can share different strategies, even though they're both social media, they kind of require different things to go viral, I would say.
Yeah, and I think you've done an outstanding job, obviously, with some of the accounts that you manage, like Xpot.
Xpot, Pinkbox.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I don't know. They come and go, but those are my like babies,
Yeah, but you've managed to make Chinese hot pot like a really cool thing that no one else has ever managed to do before you.
And I kind of contribute that to me just always being online, which I know is like not a great thing, but in that sense it's great because then I come across so many different kinds of content and I just experiment, and one of them just like pop off. Like, really, I swished A5 Wagyu into hot pot for 5 seconds and it has like 14 million views. Like, I don't get it. I don't know. That's why you just kind of have to play around, especially with TikTok, because you have a lot more freedom to do whatever you want, and it could possibly go viral because the algorithm is different compared to Instagram, in my opinion.
Yeah, the text, the TikTok voice doesn't have to be long, clearly. But yeah, those are all good points. So you brought up XYZ before, certain XYZ things that need to stand out. For the people that are listening to learn something, do you care to impart any of the XYZs or give me one of them?
Maybe you mean like tips to go viral?
Like one thing that
Let's see. So
consistent.
When I take on a new account, something I look at is like, what kind of account are they? So say I take on a Korean barbecue restaurant. What I would do is I go on TikTok and I just type in variations of the word Korean barbecue, KBBQ, Korean barbecue, all you can eat, something like that. And then I just take in all the content that I'm seeing because the things you see are the top results. And so those are the things that do well. So then I try and take whatever they're doing and put it in, for my account and see if it does the same thing. And also, if you're starting from scratch, like if you get an account that was literally just made 0 followers, whatever, TikTok tends to boost that very first post because they want you to be hooked on the app and continue to make content. So you kind of have an advantage. You need to come out with something. You need to come out with your A game for your first one because it could go viral and it could set the tone for your entire account. There you know. The more you know.
Couple things about the accounts that we are featuring. All the accounts are confirmed to not have purchase followers. The easiest way to tell that account isn't fake, specifically for IG, is when the likes really outweigh the views. I mean, so many that we see, specifically for lifestyle accounts, maybe have like 200 views and 1,000 likes somehow.
Yep.
Is it possible to do the fake stuff on TikTok? I haven't really noticed.
No, so right? I just got a video on my For You page today, and this is a legend. This is a legend, but there's like this whole drama with Selena and Hailey Bieber right now. Someone is speculating that Hailey Bieber is using bots to flood the comment section of TikToks, praising her, being like, and apparently you can tell because these accounts have no profile pictures. Sorry. They have no profile pictures, and they have the same grammatical errors, and their wording is all similar. And it's like the same comment hundreds, maybe even thousands of times. And apparently the comment is, "She's so cute." That's what like this comment is. So I feel like it's getting more common to have bots boost your engagement nowadays. But this is like a really new developing thing that I'm still learning about.
Yeah, so that could really screw up a lot of things for a lot of viewers on TikTok because it's hard to tell between if it's just comments, maybe if they go way too wild compared to the likes and views.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything of people buying likes yet, but obviously TikTok has the promote feature where it will just push your video out to more people, and that's probably the closest you can get right now.
Interesting. So if you're a restaurant fielding influencer requests, have them screenshot their reach for the past month. You'll know right away if it's bullshit, or if they refuse to send it, then you totally know. You get a lot of influencer DMs, I'm sure, with a lot of your clients. I do too. How do you field all that stuff?
So I have like 3 tactics that I use, and I use this more for like this. So I call myself a former crazy girl. Basically, I used to go through people's Instagrams and like look at their likes and be like, are they even real? Like, come on, like, how do they have 500K? So these are 3 things that I've found that give yourself away. Number one, like you said, real views. I've had a friend that was DM'd by someone else and they were calling themselves a really big influencer, and you go on their profile, they have over 100K, but you go to their reels and they have 40 views. Like, you, come on, you can't cover that up.
Awful. Yeah.
Another way to tell is the likes. So like same thing, like if you have like 5K but you have like 3,000 likes, that doesn't make sense. But you can actually go into those likes and then you just kind of find this block of profiles that have names that don't make sense. They have one picture, maybe 10 followers, and and the thing is, if you are an American and your audience is people in the US, why do you have people and so many, like thousands of people liking your stuff from another country? Like that's suspicious in itself. And then, like, lastly is the comment ratio. You ever realize that? How someone has 200K and then you go on their likes, and how come you have 200K but only 100 likes and 2 comments? That
Totally.
It doesn't make sense at all. And then even if you do buy comments, like, it's like so cute or very nice. Like, you know, it's nothing about who they are as a person, or like there's no substance to it. It's just text. It's just to build up some fluff.
Great points. Also, we opted not to include accounts from the Strip, like certain ones, like big ones like Buddy V's have other huge accounts like Buddy Velastro plugging it himself or the Resort plugging himself. Also, you know, having the most followers doesn't necessarily mean it's the best work or that they're busy all the time. I mean, there's some outstanding IG restaurant accounts that round out the top 10 with a lot of followers, like Magic Noodle, The Vikings, Bulldogies, Philly Freeze Me, Angry Crab Shack, just to name a few. There are a bunch of really cool cafes who will probably never hit 100K, but that doesn't mean, you know, it's not good work.
Exactly, yeah.
Right? Things just have to blow up. Another thing I want to point out, there isn't an account in the top 10, or I don't think even in the top 20 by a PR agency, there just isn't. PR agencies don't last long enough with the client. You and I both know that. They don't hire the best people, otherwise they'd probably be working a jump. And the consistent thing with the top 5 is they feature universally loved American foods for the most part, with a couple of twists to classics with the exception of one. There are no Asian restaurants on the list. Is it shocking to you that there are no Asian restaurants on the list?
A little bit, because, you know, one thing is there's a lot of people in this food scene in Las Vegas that are Asian. So, of course, we all kind of favor towards Asian people, but it kind of got me thinking. So I looked it up, and Chinese food is actually the #1 most ordered cuisine in America, which it's not even American food. It's Chinese. And then the second is Mexican. So, and also, when you post Asian food, when you post Mexican food videos online, they do well, don't they? So that means if people are liking it, people want to eat it. So it is shocking that it's not in the top 5, but the food's still good. Like, I feel like it's still a popular thing. It's not just an us thing.
It could be just be a management thing overall. There aren't a lot of Chinese restaurants in town that hire social media managers. And if they do, a lot of them don't do a great job.
I run 2. I do China Mama and I do the Xpot, and luckily with the Xpot I have full creative freedom. China Mama too, but I only post 5 times a month for them, so like that's just not optimal for growth, but I just do whatever they want, and that's what they want.
Interesting. Only 5, and
it's been that way since 2021.
That's a nice gig.
Yeah, I know. Hey, anyone else want to hit me up for 5 posts a month? Like, I'll take you on. I'll finish that in like 2 minutes. Let's do it.
On IG or TikTok, what would you say the bare minimum would be to make a dent per week?
So for my services, I do 3 times a week. But if you want to increase that, I would suggest it. It's just going to cost you more. And then for Instagram, this is just me. You can weigh in on this 5 times a week, you know, Monday through Friday. That's what I think that you should be doing. But if you want to be extra, 7, but you're going to pay a lot.
7's a lot.
That's a lot.
Yeah. The ones I do daily, it's a tough grind. And yeah, I'm probably doing 4 to 5 these days.
Do you schedule your posts on Instagram?
I do now. So some kind of fucked up shit happened where I can't save the drafts anymore. When I go back to it, it just freezes. So, but if I schedule it, then it works. So weird.
Does it affect your engagement?
I think so far it has. It feels like it has.
I hate that.
Which it shouldn't.
Yeah, it shouldn't. I remember you told me you tried using a third party one time and it also affected the engagement. Yeah, that's so annoying. Why create the features if it's going to do that? I
know. But it's really turned my life upside down. I'm spending hour and a half to 2 hours doing all the content for that day is really fucking up my world right now.
Oh
I
my
got to figure
gosh.
something out. Some other points, these followings and the quality of posts have impacted the business greatly. You know, how it gets eyes on the restaurant, which turns into segments on Travel Channel, Food Network, News Channel reposts, and much more. There is definitely a high importance to all that is social media, and everyone needs to have an attractive or, get attention through social. And as I said it before, I'll say it again, Keith Lee is Vegas Foodie Jesus. He's touched upon several of these accounts, and we'll get into that. I'd also like to point out that we're recording this a couple weeks out before the episode comes out, so everyone's numbers will be a little higher, and there are some tight races here who may flip-flop a little. Let's start with IG. Talls, what's your general feelings about marketing food on IG and TikTok overall?
I said like before that there's different methods of sharing food on the platforms. Like TikTok, I feel like that's where the trends originate, and then Instagram probably follows like a week later or something like that, because another one of my clients, wow, I'm just really outing myself. Okay. Another one of my clients, Capriati's. So I cross post. So that means I do 3 posts on TikTok, and then I take those TikToks and I post them on Instagram. But since TikTok is more current than Instagram, sometimes those trends don't do as well because the audience on Instagram hasn't been introduced to it properly yet. So they're just like, this isn't funny to me. Like, this doesn't make sense. Like, why would you make that? Also, dancing videos don't do very well on Instagram. I have definitely gotten flamed for posting some dancing videos, and they're like, this is embarrassing, take this down.
Wow, good to know.
Yeah, I just feel like reels are kind of still more in like the clickbaity, like short attention grabbing type of format of like lobster dips and cheese pulls and stuff, because that's what's on my explore page and that's what I click on. But on TikTok, I feel like I'm kind of more subjective. Like, that is my main focus right now. I am just watching a grilled cheese being made and it looks amazing. Like, I'm coming up with my own organic thoughts on it. But when it comes to Instagram, I'm just like, give me content. I don't care. I don't want to see the beginning of it. Just show me the cool stuff.
Yeah, just go straight to the point.
Get straight to the point. That's exactly it.
I think if you're shooting like a wok stir fry anymore, you don't need to start with the oil or the little veggies or whatever. Just put it on the fucking plate and let's go. Yeah, good point. And then also virality as well. I mean, while IG has done a better job over the last year, making posts last longer, blowing stuff up, it still feels like TikTok is king, because there's never been a real overnight IG thing that's happening.
You're right. No.
Is that weird?
Kind of. Like, there was one point in time, for some reason, like, it was almost very similar to how my profile reacted in 2020 of, like, I had my videos that I made on Vegas, probably there was about 6 of them. They went from 3,000 views to, like, 600,000 views within a couple weeks. Like, that was crazy for me. So when Instagram Reels started coming out, I started reposting my Reels, my TikToks onto Reels, and, they would do okay. Maybe one would pop off or something, but it happened again to me last year. I went from less than 10,000 to over 25,000 within a month, and I didn't have to do any extra work. It was just because videos that I had already posted just started to generate a bunch of views. So I don't know, it just happened for me. Maybe it could happen again, but I feel like not. I feel like Instagram and TikTok are kind of past the point of like heating like mass amounts of videos for one creator and making them just an overnight, like, not success, but you know what I mean, like more popular.
Totally. It is weird how a lot of the IG posts like 10 days later or 20 days later seem to go off.
It's insane. It took me by surprise because I woke up and I was like, oh, I gained 300 followers. That's so cool. And then I'm like, I gained 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I'm like, what's going on? It was right when Foodie Fest was happening too.
Oh, wow.
So like I made a Foodie Fest video and it popped off, and then people saw me there and they were like, hi, like I'm here because of you. Wow. I'm like, oh my gosh, like I got kind of like anxious. I'm like, I'm in like this secluded area and like a bunch of people are watching me. Like I eat weird. Like, don't look at me.
Oh my God, they would have been so sick. They're probably like,
I know. I probably was like, there's some like, like someone taking a picture, right?
Right. I could totally see that happening for sure. All the time. Probably when you're not even knowing.
Oh God, it's probably some terrible candid photos of my double chin. It's okay. We keep going on.
So let's start with IG first. Number 5 is the Serial Killer's Kitchen with 133K followers. This is the only owner restaurant IG run to make the list. Shout out to Chris Burns for putting in the work with everything else he has going on. Any kind of thoughts on serial killers?
I've been to their place one time and I actually did their cereal challenge.
Oh, you did? I don't remember this video.
So I didn't, oh, actually, no, I did make a TikTok about it and it did pretty well, but I didn't go as like tall as I went with this like smaller channel that like traveled from Atlanta to Vegas. Remember they came to Amano?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so one of the stops that they did, and they were only trying food challenges, was the Serial Killers Challenge. And I was the host, so they made me partake in all of the challenges. Oh, hi! Sorry, my friend Yuvia just came in. So I remember I got to choose whatever cereals I wanted, and I also chose, I think I did like full-on lactose milk because I'm dumb. And it was really, really soggy. Like that's just what my thoughts were. But the owners are just so sweet. Even though I didn't come as like talls, they were like, oh, do you want to film in the back? Like here, like they were just like, let me make this for you. Let me make that for you. And I was like, you guys are so nice. Like even if I didn't have followers, like I think you would still offer this. And another thing, like I feel like a reason that they are so successful is because one, they pump out a lot of content. Two, it's kind of shocking. I'm going to say the word shock factor a lot because I feel like that is something that a lot of these accounts have, which is what makes them go viral. And so like what place can you go and put, you know, Cocoa Pebbles and Captain Crunch into this like drill machine and it comes out as your own custom soft serve and you can take a Pop-Tart and put it in there. It's like something from Elf. Like, of course you're going to want to go there and it's in Vegas. So people come to Vegas to try things they've never done before. And what better than to have a crazy concoction that could give you type 1 diabetes.
Well said. Actually, the IG post I did to promote Chris's podcast is still going on my IG. Like 39K likes. Like people are still commenting like months later. It's really interesting. But yeah, I got to rewatch your cereal challenge.
Oh gosh, I can say it's so bad. I think I got about 20 minutes in and I was like, I'm just not going to get last. And I didn't. I got the one before that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. All right, very cool. We're going to save a few more words for serial killers because they are later on in the list. Let's go into number 4, Dirt Dog with 155K. This company, originally inspired by owner Chef Timothy Cam's discovery at a young age of Mexican hot dogs wrapped in bacon in LA, has birthed the fastest growing hot dog brand in Sin City, now boasting 5 locations. And a huge part of that has to do with unlocked social media marketing for the brand. Have you been to Dirt Dog?
I've only had it one time and it was from DoorDash.
Okay.
So it was in 2020 of December. I remember I was graduating from UNLV and my parents came into town. Even though COVID was still very much a thing and I couldn't walk the stage, they still came to Vegas and my dad was like, oh, I really want to try Dirt Dog. I was like, you would. So since,
that's his thing.
Yeah, like takeout was still like a very big thing then. So we got it takeout and it was good. Oh, I feel bad, but they did mess up the order. But they did make it right afterwards, so It was fine. But I remember I did post it on my story. I didn't tag them, but I was like, oh, like, you know, my order, it came incorrect. And people were like, why would you call them out like that? I'm not following you. I'm like, okay. Like, go ahead.
But yeah, wieners, fries on wieners.
Can't go
anything
wrong.
on wieners, you can't go wrong.
Carbs, meat.
Yeah.
It's the dynamic duo.
Yeah, it's been actually over a year since Drew ran it, and they've hired a corporate team to run it since they're expanding and all that, and they need a bigger team. But I don't want to say the new social media team has completely dropped the ball. I mean, they haven't. But it's definitely not the same. You can definitely tell in the work.
Do I know who this agency is?
I don't even know who the agency is. Yeah,
okay.
I think they're based out of LA, or it's an in-house team now, I think.
Oh, in-house? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on the off chance they're listening to this, can I get some tips? Like, I'm not like, I don't want to like crap on you because there's a lot of people that can't do it, but like, I'm not saying I'm the best in the world, but I would love to give some tips, you know? Yeah. I said I would invest in a better light. Like, I feel like sometimes they have a light, sometimes they don't, and the light that they do have is very warm. Like, you know those, like, lights that people buy to, like, clip on random things, and it only has one light setting, and it's, like, super dim at the same time? Like, just do away with that $6.99 Amazon light. Let me send you a link to the one that I use. It's great. You can change the warmth, the coolness, whatever. Lights just change the game.
Yeah.
And then secondly, I would just do some professional development. Maybe just look up the hashtag food, go through like 10 reels, see what kind of angles they use, the audios, what kind of shots they use, because even just looking at those, you'll have a better idea of how to shoot. Because I don't know whoever's shooting the videos, but are they like 7 feet tall? Because it's like straight up, like it looks like you can look down into the food. Like, let's lower it.
Yeah, I don't know. But sometimes people adhere to the general idea that it's better to shoot further away and zoom in later. Or maybe they just still didn't zoom in. I don't know.
I remember I basically watched an overhead shot, like a bird's eye view of a hot dog being built, when I knew that wasn't their intention. I just think the person shooting is just really tall. So you just need to kind of use it to your advantage. Like I'm going to bring this up later, but Damien, he's a tall guy, but his camera work is insane. I wish I was taller, because he's so tall. It looks like it's a drone doing it. Like in a good way.
That's true. Actually, when I shoot food videos, you can tell when it's Ayumi because of the height.
That's me, because I burned myself on a couple grills because I'm so short.
Oh, no.
Oh yeah, right here on the forearms, man.
And while I'm going to just talk about Drew just a little bit more. I mean, Drew's name does come up on the list several times, and yes, of course, his larger-than-life persona and how he does it on Luck is legendary, but no one ever really talks about what a great eye he has.
Oh, yeah.
For how to shoot content and put it all together. It's really trailblazed the entire food social media in Vegas. But yeah, it's just crazy.
Whenever I'm around Drew, I just kind of listen to whatever he says, because like he just spits so much knowledge without even realizing it.
Yeah. Every time. That's true. Number 3, we got Sayulita's Las Vegas. I've actually never been there, but 159K, traditional Mexican food with a Filipino twist. It was established in San Diego in 2015, and this family recently moved and had a location in Vegas. It's a unique take on traditional quick service restaurant, and just kind of crazy. Those huge fucking bacon burritos.
I know.
And Hooked LV runs it, speaking of Damien. The main San Diego account has 53K. And in just maybe less than a year, he's gone over 100K of that one. So he's done an amazing job. Hooked LV, definitely one of the premier social media managers in Vegas. What did you think of how it worked, or what made it work?
I mean, shock factor. Yeah. You know what I mean? Those things are larger than a newborn baby. I could probably have a burrito as long as my leg, which isn't saying much. I'm 4'11", but whatever. It's still insane. You could just wrap it in all that bacon. Imagine the food cost for that. Like, how much do you think that is?
85. Has to be at least, I'm thinking 80, 85.
It's insane. But that's also the same thing. Like, not only is the food viral, but combined with Damien's camera skills, it's just so great. For some reason, I just feel like the colors on his videos are just always really vibrant.
Yes.
It's like the food's in front of me. And he just has a really good way of describing it. And I see majority of Sayulita's videos on his profile, like he posted that's his client. And it's good content, so I see why he does post it.
Ridiculous. Yeah, bacon covered burritos, tons of cheese, tots, meats, everything looks amazing. And he's done a great job. I haven't asked him about this, and maybe we should just call him now. But I think he saves his videos at a higher frame rate, which makes it look stand out more than anyone else's.
It's like he's listening right now. He's like, Phil, shut up.
Shut the fuck up. So yeah, normally you're saving it at 30 frames FPS.
Okay.
But if you save it at 60, which I've been playing around with, it looks more hooked-ish.
Oh, Damien, we're coming for you.
I know. But the lag on TikTok is real.
Yes.
So you have to save it twice. 60 on IG, maybe 30, or maybe a little bit higher.
That's where I get lazy.
I know. Why do you do the same thing twice on the phone? But yeah, kind of interesting. And I definitely want to go. It looks like an insane place. And
Damien, let us in.
I know.
It's his Carl's Donuts.
Pretty much. Well, he's got several Carl's Donuts.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Antidote.
True.
Yeah, I don't know. What's your Carl's Donuts?
Back spot.
Yes.
Or maybe sometimes Pink Box, depends how you show it,
Right.
Sometimes they don't want things to be shown, so I have to respect that. But I'm like, it would look so good. Let me do it.
Oh, things.
Okay. Can't say. Proprietary.
All right. Interesting. oh, company secrets. Okay. Number 2 is Amano Las Vegas, 165K. It's actually 164. They've lost a few followers. Yeah,
Oh no.
last couple of
Oh,
days.
I think I know why.
Yeah. My first account, this was actually I'm the social media manager. It's my first account. I started in April of 2018. Put me on the map and then some. Mom and pop, reposts, middle of nowhere, and in 95, no alcohol. Somehow still is a business and still thrives with tons of people going up there, spending the $100 round trip ride share.
Oh, that sounds terrible. Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane.
But the thing is, so with Amano, I got to experience the blow up on the consumer side. I could not even imagine what it was like for you when you were on like every single food news outlet in general. Like it was just, I was being sent that video or videos multiple times, just like, oh my gosh, I need to go. And the thing is, it came up my For You, or not my For You, but it came on my Instagram when I was just leaving for summer break back to California. So I had to wait the entire summer to come back. And I'm like, and I also didn't have a car. So I'm like, dang it, I can't go up there because I didn't even know how far it was. I thought it was on the Strip because it's something so extreme.
Everyone thinks that, yeah.
And when you invited me, so it was in
First time we met.
First time we met was at Amano. Yeah. And we were supposed to meet before that influencer event and you were going to be with Hooked LV. And I was like, oh my gosh, when you invited me, I was like, I made it. Like, I made it. But, you know, like who doesn't want to go to Vegas and have, you know, has that shock factor, a loaf of bread stuffed with pasta, cheesy sauce over the top, or you can get the Hooked LV Fat Baby with a whole like Cornish game hen on top.
Yeah,
like
insane.
Once in a lifetime thing, and no one else can replicate it. And if they did, I hope that, you know, there's some cease and desist action going on.
Right. I always thought they would. So, I mean, Amano did kind of take the Fat Babies from a small place in San Diego called Tornadoes, but it was a much smaller version. And some people do comment on that from time to time, but they just turned it up like several volumes more. Yeah. But yeah, it's been crazy. It's been a crazy ride, and I love the fact that, I mean, it's still rocking. I was there last week and the place was packed. I
mean, I tell everyone about it. As soon as they're like, hey, I'm coming to Vegas, I'm like, do you have a car? That's the first thing I ask. I'm like, where are you staying? Do you have a car? And I'm like, what's your comfortability? And I'm like, do you want something crazy? Do you want something nice? And then I'm like, Amano. I'm like, you need to go to Amano. It's a reservation only. My friends even want to go to Amano. Wow. We live in all different parts of the city. And we're like, bro, I want to go to Amano. And I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, let me know anytime. And then finally, top spot, number one on IG is Carl's Donuts at 226K. Carl's was opened up by Carl and Lynn Sanders, relocated to Vegas in 1966. And Amber Ramsey, who is one of the owners and the daughter, recently opened up a retail side, partnered up with Drew, again, Unlocked, for this unreal, never before seen momentum.
Crazy.
Because the factory is just unbelievable. The unbelievable BTS. So when you combine Drew's talents with this incredible amount of food porn happening everywhere in the factory, it has really led to these insane numbers. I mean, Carl's Donuts wasn't even on the radar as far as for number of followers even this time last year.
Insane.
So have you been back there?
I've never even been to Carl's, period.
Okay.
Drew.
I can contact Amber. If you want to go, I'm sure she'd love to.
Oh, we're going to bypass Drew? No. Okay.
Yeah, I generally bypass Drew these days if I want to go in the factory. But yeah.
That's so fun. But yeah, I've never been to Carl's, but they have come up on my For You page a few times, and they have a lot of variety, and I definitely want to try it. And like, even just like, I see like cookie butter one? That looks insane. And like, we all know why they're viral. It's that iconic of, you know, you see like 6 dozen donuts being dunked, like basically baptized in some pink frosting, and then you take like a metric ton of sprinkles and you just bless every single one of them. It's amazing. Like I experienced it as a consumer before I personally knew Drew, and it came up that, you know, iconic pink donut video with the Simpsons audio behind it. It came up my For You page in 2020 in lockdown. And I was like, wow, this looks familiar. I don't know why this looks familiar. I remember then I went to Drew's account. I saw it and I'm like, but I didn't make the connection that they were the same person until about later on that year when I realized a lot of foodies run some of the most popular accounts in Las Vegas. And I'm like, that's so cool. But yeah, same thing. Carl's Donuts has that shock factor of like, wow, that's so many donuts. I'm only used to seeing one donut in my hand or maybe a dozen in a box, not 6 dozen being dunked into a giant vat of pink frosting that these people with gloves are swishing around. Like, that's just something you never get to see. So, of course, it's going to do well.
Yeah, straight up Willy Wonka.
Yes.
But this was also a mutually beneficial thing in many, many ways. Drew has parlayed his crazy videos to a ridiculous number of followers and subscribers. Asking himself, the reason why he's over 1 million is Carl's Donuts. The reason why he's at 400K on YouTube is Carl's Donuts.
Yep. And he doesn't lie about it either. Yeah. He's like, do you want my content? He's like, I'll send it to you if you want it.
Yeah, who wouldn't want it? It's just an amazing place to go. And all the credit for Drew for blowing all that up. And it still continues to go crazy. Starfish just recently posted it, and that's gone insane. When Lindsay and I did this top 5 post back in 2021, the top 5 following were Creamberry at 90K, Bulldoggies at 94K, Dirt Dog was 102K, Amano Las Vegas was 120K, and then one who was disqualified now is CJ's at 123K. How do I explain this? I have solid evidence that they do buy followers, so they've unfortunately been disqualified. Otherwise, they would have been number 2.
CJ's is such a, they have great content too. They don't need to buy followers, but I'll let them do whatever they want to do with their account.
Yeah, who knows what's going on there. We're moving on to TikTok now. Going into the top 5, these 5 have significantly higher followers in general than IG. Why do you think that is that the restaurants have more followers on TikTok?
I think it's the algorithm. So Instagram originated as a platform for seeing what your friends are up to and posting a picture of your coffee cup. But then it has turned into, you can become a creator too. It used to be very kind of an exclusive club to become an influencer, but TikTok kind of broke down the walls for that. TikTok was like, I'm going to show your video to someone across the country and we'll see if they like it. And if they like it, we'll show it to someone else and someone else and someone else. And since TikTok started with that foot forward, it created a culture of I'm going to follow someone I don't know. And they only post pictures or they only post videos of them feeding their animals on their farm. But you know what? That makes me happy. So I'm going to follow them. And so it turns out there's a lot of people that like to watch people feed their animals on their farms. And now they have over 500K on TikTok, but they only have about 5K on Instagram because I feel like it was a little bit harder to get your stuff out there back then. But now that Instagram has introduced a similar algorithm for Reels when it comes to that type of stuff, you can build up your followers. But it's a little bit harder on Instagram than it is for TikTok just because of, I think, the way they originated.
Amazing points. God, I'm glad you're on the show. Fuck.
When you're like, oh, I really respect your opinion. I'm like, what do you mean? But then when I was typing all these notes, I was like, ooh, this.
Look at you, the expert. Okay. And then, so once we get into this, I'm going to also mention some of these TikTok accounts, IG followings, because it's interesting because it is generally the same content, but it just doesn't pop off for some reason or another. But you brought up a lot of great points on why that's the case.
Meta, fire me. Just stop trying to ban TikTok.
What if that happens?
Oh gosh,
it's not going to happen.
I do not believe it's going to happen. But
way.
If it does, I restart accounts for a living. I was telling my assistant that because she was scared, and I'm like, if it happens, then it's going to happen. But there's just going to be something else that comes up, and I have confidence that I could probably build something on there too. Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, no one ever thought Vine was going to go away.
Exactly.
That went away. But
rip Vine, actually.
Yeah. I think someone running for a government position could probably base their whole platform on keeping TikTok legal in America. I think that would actually work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so number 5 is 303 in the cut, 324K. They have actually 26K on IG. This has always been our owner-run account, which is not easy at all. Giuliano has done a bang-up job, and if everything disappeared, he could easily get a job doing social media management. I really believe that. But the passion for food, the green chili delivers all the nostalgia of great American classics, along with the option to spice things up with their in-the-cut style. You drive by Spring Mountain, there's always a line now.
Always.
Yeah. And huge creators like Talls, Brandon, Starfish, and of course Keith Lee have blown this up to no end. What are your feelings about 303? Obviously, you love it.
Of course, I love Giuliano.
Yeah.
So me and Giuliano actually met through a mutual friend, and Giuliano was just maybe a month or two old, and we tried his food, and I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this is insane. And he was like, hey, can I like get you to make a video? I said, sure. I made one. It did okay. But then the second video I made, I think that got about like over 20,000 likes or something. And I mentioned their chicken cutty fries. And I saw the next day on Instagram, he's like, we're out of chicken. Please stop ordering chicken. I'm like, yes, I did that. Yeah. So that was really cool. And so from then, our friendship just grew from that. And he called me and he was like, hey, I really want to grow my social media presence, but if I'm going to hire anyone, I'm going to hire you. And the thing is, I knew where he kind of like, I had an idea of where he was in his like financial standing at that point in time, because we talk about how many customers he was getting. And like when I would go film, there would be like nobody there. Maybe like 1 or 2 people would show up while I would be hanging out with them for like 45 minutes. And I'm like, I can't take money. Like, I don't want you to pay me. And the thing is, Giuliano is such a passionate and determined owner. I knew he could do it himself. He just had to learn. And that was his biggest hang up, was like, I just don't know what I'm doing. So I went over there, me and Brandon from Las Vegas, we went over there and I showed them how I film videos, how I edit them, how often he should be posting, like blah, blah, blah. Like any info he wanted, he could just text me and I told him what he should do. And within a month, I think I don't know, he has the more accurate numbers, but this is just from me periodically checking in. I think he had maybe a couple thousand, maybe less than that, and he went over 10K within a month on Instagram. And then on TikTok, it was just like more than that. And within 1 or 2 months, he got that cheesecake viral video that caused him to be stitched by Keith Lee, and the rest is history. And since then, you know, Giuliano, especially during that whole craze of Keith Lee and like giving him multiple tens and everything, he was calling me, be like, do I make a video now? Like, what do I say? Like, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, get one out now. Just be real. Just keep posting. And he's like, okay. And so he did a follow-up video of how Keith stitched him. And that video did over 145,000 likes or something like that. And the rest is history. He's still got a line. I still can't eat there. I have to text him. I have to be like, hey, at like 6 or 7 o'clock, I have to text him and be like, hey, can I get a burrito? And he's like, yeah, just pull up when I open. I was like, cool.
That's amazing. I had no idea that backstory.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's really
that's so cool.
So I asked him, I said, hey, like, since I helped you out, if another company wants to come up to me and ask for social media consulting, can you be a testimony for me? He's like, yeah. He's like, I'll do whatever. I'm like, okay, cool, thanks.
That's amazing. But yeah, he's really taking the ball and run with it. Not only does he highlight the food, but the personal story and his amazing journey. I think that makes it super inspiring and really, you know, touches heartstrings as well. He told me when he was here for the Keith Lee episode, the second Keith Lee episode, that cheesecake video had been sitting in his drafts forever. He never even thought about posting it. And then he had nothing that day, so he just threw it up. Changes life.
That serial killers video I made of the challenge, it was sitting in my drafts for months, and I posted it, and I think it has over 100K likes. It's just crazy. It's the things you don't expect. It really is.
Yeah, so I guess the moral of the story is to throw everything up there.
Throw everything up. You never know what's going to catch. Because I went to Denver a couple weeks ago. I was really scared about making some non-Vegas content, but those are the videos I told you that have almost 600K views and over 1.1 million views, and they were all Denver people. I was able to get onto their pages. So just put it up. Just don't be scared. I am scared. I'm like completely lying right now. I'm very scared.
But you took the chance and it paid off.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
Take risks.
Yes. But I think, your followers, you could be anywhere. You could be in Timbuktu making awesome TikTok.
I'd like to hope so, but this algorithm plays with my emotions sometimes.
Well, yeah. That's true. That's true. Okay, so next one up is Cali Bombs, another American classic. Actually, the last time I did this countdown, Lindsay and I were kind of saying how it was weird that there was no hamburgers in the top 5, anywhere even in the top 20. And I don't know why a lot of the hamburger accounts just don't care about promoting themselves very well.
Because they're like, we're burgers. We do good anyway. Maybe. This is my thoughts.
Maybe Chinese food's the same. But yeah, 380K, 61K on IG, classic style California burgers, all food porned out. It's kind of like in an alternate universe where In-N-Out Social had to hire an influencer, and then this is kind of what it would look like.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I haven't been up there yet. I don't know. If I'm traveling up to the Northeast, I'm sorry. I'm just not getting burgers. I'm getting Mexican food.
Okay. I mean, I get that. I kind of sought it out. I remember I was like, I really want to shoot a Cali Bomb. So I went when they were having a content shoot, and I got to try it. That's the only time I've been. Because I don't really go over there either.
This has kind of gone through some different social media managers. Damien Ocampo, aka Hooked LV, actually started the account, blew the shit up like to 100K in less than 30 days or something.
Yeah.
And then it's currently a Jump Force account at 380K. I believe Donkey very much.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he does.
Yeah, which is a great person to have running a TikTok. But what do you think overall about how the style and everything, shock factor?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
You got the shock. Like,
Onions.
who doesn't? They call it a, what do they call it? Something bomb, right?
Onion bomb.
Onion
right?
bomb, yeah, because
Something
they
like
can't say the other one because I think it's trademarked.
Yeah.
So, of course, it has a shock factor of taking a whole onion bomb and deep frying it and maybe put some cheese sauce and hot Cheetos on it and then putting it on a burger and maybe even like a double burger. Like, that's just, come on, that's just viral content right there. And of course, it speaks volumes because look at Paul's post. I think it's like the third most viewed reel in history or something like that. He beat out Kylie Jenner, I think. It's just insane. But I remember when Damien was running the TikTok, and back then, I think it was like 2021, it was way, way, way easier to have food content go viral because it was very similar to that Instagram aspect of like cheese pulls, really extreme, like mass amounts of food. Like he would take videos of like, it looked like 16 burgers in a box, you know, like who doesn't want to watch that? Or like an entire griddle covered with burgers and cheese and whatever. So, and then it was way easier to use audios to go viral back then as compared to now where TikTok kind of prioritizes other things than trending audios. And I don't know if it was this account that he used, but it was this whole like interact with this sound and you'll have good luck for blah, blah, blah. And a bunch of like, I think that video popped off. So people were like, oh, I claim this. I want good luck, like blah, blah, blah. And so that's a big reason that I believe that account grew followers, or maybe that was a different account that he did. But I swear I thought I saw it on the Cali Bombs. I tried to look for it. Maybe it's gone. Maybe I'm completely wrong and it was somebody else, but that is something that people would use is like the really trendy audios of like, oh, my mom said I'm fat, right? Well, I'm going to go for a run, you know, blah, 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 for a burrito.
Right.
So that's a really big audio that people use like to try and get some views because it has even that whole like audio I just mentioned has that shock value of like, what do you mean you're going on a run? Oh, for a burrito. Yeah, yeah. That's
true.
Funny.
That's true.
I actually saw the switch over between Damien and Jump Force. I think Paul was running the Cali Bombs account for a little bit because Damien and Paul have different wording. Damien likes to use a lot of fire emojis, and Paul likes to use like the ... dots. So you could see where it's like, ooh, yummy, so fire. And then the next one, it's like, drop in ... chicken drumstick.
Caption analysis.
Of course.
Wow, I love it.
Former crazy girl. I can sense the changes.
But yeah, the baton was passed, and they're still running with it. Do you think it would be possible, minus Keith Lee, for a restaurant account to get 100K in 30 days?
You'd have to do something like your content has to be good, or you have to have a really good story in order to do that. Like, there's a lot of businesses that are, you know, asking for my input, and I tell them, I'm like, look, you gotta have a story. Like, what's your story? Because people on TikTok, at least, they love to root someone on. I tell every single business this. I'm like, you need to have some sort of like story of like, okay, well, I'm going on with you to this journey and it's never ending. So let me keep consuming your content. And that's how you create a loyal fan base. Like, cause they're like, oh, I remember when you first started out and look at where you are now. Like, it's like, you know, they're your friend. So I think, you know, having someone follow along for the journey is what really creates those followers that stick, and it can continue to build up your profile as well because people, I don't know, mob mentality, man, it really comes in. Yeah,
great points there, and that's definitely something to think about for any new business, to think about the story, how to project that story. It's not just a cheese pizza.
Exactly. You can't post just a cheese pizza anymore. People want substance.
Great point. And speaking of great stories, coming in at number 3 is Frankincense.
See?
With 409K currently. And if you're listening to the show, I feel like you already know the story. I mean, Keith Lee and Frankincense kind of go hand in hand. So many major news media outlets promoted the hell out of it. Over 4.1 million likes on the account, completely built from Keith. They only have 11 posts on their account, with the one most recently coming up just a couple days ago, and before that was over a month ago.
I wish I could have over 400K in 10 posts.
The easiest 400K in the history of TikTok, honestly. Probably.
This is the restaurant that made, like, Keith Lee was already getting really popular, but this is the one that made him just become foodie Jesus, you know? Yeah. He was on every single news outlet. He was on probably Barstool. I don't even know. He was probably on every single thing, because I remember I could not escape that one thumbnail of him sitting with Frankincense Pizza anywhere I opened my phone. It was like on every Instagram account, every TikTok, like blah, 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 you know? So it makes sense that they have over 400K because this video went so insane. And I haven't been able to go because I'm sure they're still busy and I don't even want to try.
Yeah, I still haven't been either, but eventually. Maybe I mean, we should have done Postmates and had.
Oh, you're right. I was thinking, I'm like, maybe I should bring some food.
Yeah. All right, next time. Another example of this is at Dynamite Vegas, which Keith also recently blew up, has over 102K on TikTok, all because of Keith. But both of them have the story and the food, whereas certain businesses that he's highlighted haven't seen the huge influx of followers like these guys have. Mm-hmm. And it has to do with the story for sure.
Stories. I mean, a great person that I always refer to is Alexandra Lourdes. She does such a great job of, you know, showing her everyday life of being a mom, owning multiple restaurants, being, you know, a Latina, you know, woman. And she was like the first person in her family to like go to college, and she also got a doctorate. Like, she just is kind of like a person that can do it all, and people kind of want to see themselves in her, and she like takes them along for her very, you know, successful life, and people just love to see it. They love to root someone on, especially like a woman-owned, minority-owned business. So whenever, like, that's someone that I actually sent Giuliano. I was like, look at her stuff. This is what you should be doing. She does it great. Emulate it. And then I think they spoke a little bit. I connected them as well. Oh, cool. Yeah, because he was like, can I speak? Because after Keith Lee, he was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And Keith Lee had stitched her a few times after that. So he's like, can you connect me? So I gave them each other's emails, and I don't know what happened after that.
That's cool, though. Yeah, that's an awesome backstory I wouldn't have no idea about. So awesome. Number 2 is Frost and Roll. It's actually at Frost and Roll 1 with 489K on TikTok, 8K on IG. They make fresh ice cream made to order, customized for each order. The rolled ice cream concept has been around for over 5 years now, and it never really caught on.
At least I never got rolled ice cream here in Vegas, because didn't Drew open up where an old rolled ice cream place was?
Yes. I think it was just called rolled ice cream or something like that. It was one of the first ones.
Yeah. I mean, so there's just something oddly satisfying about watching rolled ice cream being made. And I still enjoy watching it, especially because, like, I get to watch things that used to be an Oreo, and it gets chopped up with these little blades, and then they turn into tiny little speckles in what used to be cream, but the cream is now solidified, and now it's being rolled up, and it's just a whole process. Like I said, people love to watch a process. It's way more easily digestible on TikTok than, in my opinion, would be on Instagram, because on Instagram, you have to speed it up a little bit. On Instagram, people are kind of, on Instagram, it gets speed up. On TikTok, people are kind of more patient, if that makes sense. So I feel like that kind of stuff does better. And also, since TikTok came on later than Instagram, they kind of caught a second wind. So even though rolled ice cream went viral on Instagram first, people can take all their content, put it on TikTok, and start a whole new second wave. And I looked up Frost and Roll, and they've been posting since 2019. That's before they became... Oh, no, they were TikTok, but that's really early in the game, you know? So they've been on it for a long time.
Yeah. I wasn't able to, meaning I didn't have time to talk to them. I just called them before the episode, and the person told me that the owner runs it. But it's interesting. They haven't posted in this year at all.
If the owner runs it, because I didn't know that. I thought, like, my theory was, a manager has the login info and
just throws it up.
Yeah, they're gone. Like, they don't work there anymore, so now they don't have access to the account.
Yeah.
I feel like that's it.
And that's a weird thing too. Several restaurants have put the employees to work, and they just do the social media for free. I've met, waitresses, hostesses, things like that just post for free. It's so weird.
I've been let go from clients because they try to take it in-house, aka pass it along to someone else, but then they don't end up actually doing it, and then their account just lies dormant to this day.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, anyways, rolled ice cream, who would have thought? But yeah, the money shots are definitely just overhead. That's kind of what's worked with them. They're not even that great quality of videos.
No, it looks like someone's filming on a GoPro, respectfully, but it looks like it's being filmed on like a fish lens GoPro from like 2013. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That was mean.
It's true though. You're just speaking the truth. Come on. But yeah, I mean, rolled ice cream never caught on because even before the idea of Reels and TikTok, like when we took photos of it, it would be in the cup. You'd only be able to see like 25% of the roll. So what the fuck? There's nothing to see here.
Probably melts fast too.
Yeah. Creamberry did make the roll taco, which I guess was maybe the first time it kind of blew up. But yeah, it's interesting that it still has a life. And to me, it's surprising that boba still has a life in town.
What?
I don't know. I thought boba would have been over like years ago, but it's on like a fifth wave, sixth wave of...
I hope it never dies. Boba, I feel like it's just because it just catches on with every generation.
That's
you know,
true.
like my
Rite of passage.
Yeah, my dad introduced me to boba, and then I see people in middle school getting boba. I feel like it's just gonna be hopefully a continuation. And also, they evolve. They've made creme brulee boba, brown sugar boba, fruit tea with popping boba. It used to just be like I used to get a green tea slushie with a green apple slushie with green jellies when I was a kid, but. Yeah, there's boba everything. There's boba candy.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's here to stay for a little bit longer.
Interesting. I don't know any big boba IGs or
Fruity.
Fruity. I mean, besides Fruity, is there another one?
Scoop LV probably.
Fengcha?
Oh, Fengcha?
They're TikTok.
Yeah.
Instagram's good, but TikTok's like 44 kids.
Awesome.
Ooh.
Good to know.
No, yeah, Scoop LV does pretty good too because they have like cool concoctions they can come up with. They have so many things they can play with there.
Right. Okay. Good. And finally, at number one, we started with Serial Killers. We're ending with the Serial Killers Kitchen. 1 million followers on TikTok. Chris, I went to the store maybe a couple months ago just to kind of do like pre-interview stuff because we had never met before. And watching him and his setup in the back and how he used to jam out like 3 posts a day.
Crazy. That sounds like very normal for people that are huge now. They talk about their beginnings like, dude, I was posting like 3, 4, 5 plus times a day. And I can't fathom that. But I remember he's come up my For You page a few times. And like I said, I've been there before. But the videos I think that really put him on the map were his challenge videos.
Yeah.
And I've posted food challenge videos on my page and they've done well as well. And the comments are always... oh man, like I could do that. Oh, I could beat that time. I could do this, blah, blah, blah. So when he posts it, it goes viral. It's now exposed to millions of people who also believe they can do the challenge. So then they come to Vegas and they're like, I want to do the challenge. Now the owner has content again, and it just keeps feeding that cycle of virality and having people come in and boom, million followers.
Million followers. So far and away, the number one. No one even comes close. It's really just been an outstanding, effort for him to get this. But yeah, Planet Hollywood is really the perfect place to do this challenge.
Yeah.
Everyone walks by. There's been those crazy stories where the drunk person comes and starts yelling at them.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. But yeah, it seems like the key now is to have a separate bowl with the milk and then keep putting it in instead of like a huge bucket.
I just watched that competitive eater take it down, and it was so smart that he was he took a separate bowl, took scoops of the cereal and was pouring a little bit of milk in at a time and just eating it and devouring it like that. That's so smart because at the bottom, mine was just
it's
the
a bad
essence
place.
of that's where dreams go to die. It's the bottom of a mushy 3-gallon thing of cereal.
Yeah, and Raina tried to actually just drink the milk after. So she was just eating dry cereal and it cut up her lips and mouth severely. But she did finish. Which was crazy.
How does she do that? Because I'm pretty sure they do it from every single box, right? And there's Captain Crunch. There's multiple varieties of Captain Crunch in there. I already know that. So her mouth is done for.
Yeah. I remember her post talk with on TikTok, and it was it looked brutal. And I don't know how she did it, but I
She's
probably
a
say
machine.
that about her every time.
Respect.
But yeah, a huge part of Serial Killer's success is social media. 5 locations there with more to come. He's opening up one in Salt Lake City now, which is crazy.
And even his engagement is really good for just
Yeah.
posting like a travel vlog like that. Like I understand it's about opening up a new location, but if someone even posts something remotely, not the content that people signed up for, it tanks. But I think it still had over like 2,000 likes, which is still really good.
Yeah, amazing. Bubbling under, meaning the rounding out the kind of the top 10ish. You got Creamberry at 203K. CJ's is actually up there as well, 197K. Carl's Donuts at 192. Amano at 146. Jesse Ray's at 135 and Golden Sierra 134. But yeah, just really interesting that it is pretty much just mainstream food. And I don't know, is it the algorithm? Is it just the general public? Are we kind of in a bubble where we think certain things like Korean barbecue are amazing and it just...
I feel like
work.
because there's so many influencers in Vegas right now, we push out the things that we have access to. So like, you invite people to Amano, to Golden Steer, to Partage and everything. And because there's so many of us and so many of us putting out that content, I think we kind of set the tone a little bit for what food TikTok is and what food Instagram is. Because before, Vegas wasn't really known for food, but now people are calling it like the foodie capital. Like, not my words. I'm seeing it on comments, okay? So don't come for me. But
It's true.
Like, I feel like we kind of almost like we have a good say in the space. And I mean, that's kind of cool,
Yeah. Yeah, the number of people that have come to Vegas based on your posts or Starfish or whatever, just promoting Vegas tourism, people just come and check out the city just to eat is
It's just to
unbelievable.
eat. I know, because people used to go to LA, but now people are like, what? Vegas has so many good places. I remember when I was posting in 2020, they were like, there's nothing to do in Vegas. It's so boring here. And now people are like, what are you talking about? There's so many good things to do here. Like, do you not go on the internet at all? Like, I really feel like we have a kind of a big impact on like food tourism, which I think is so insane.
Yeah, you're right. Well said. That kind of wraps up the episode. I mean, thank you for all your expertise and insider information on how a lot of these accounts went down. I really appreciate you.
Thank you. I honestly didn't even realize I had this many opinions. So this is cool. I never got to talk like this before.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, the podcast is just an excuse to hang out with great
Yeah.
people like Talls. So thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. See you next week.
Woo!
Thanks for tuning in to the Las Vegasville podcast. For more information about me and where I've been dining recently, check out my IG and TikTok at Las Vegasville. Feel free to text or leave me a voicemail about anything you want, 702-551-4445. Stay tuned as a new episode of the show debuts every Monday morning.